Aren't you tired of writing down all these amazing goals, getting super excited about them, and then watching another year go by without achieving any of them? You know what I mean. Those goals gathering dust in your notes app or that vision board that's been sitting in your drawer since January. But here's the thing. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you lack motivation. And it's definitely not because you're incapable of achieving great things. The real reason? You're just doing it wrong. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that. We're tackling something that might just change your life. How to set goals and actually achieve them. Not just set them and forget them like those New Year's resolutions we all make, but really, genuinely achieve them. You know what's crazy? According to research, only about 8% of people actually achieve their New Year's resolutions. That's right, 92% of us fail because most of us are doing it wrong. We're setting goals the same way a ship might sail without a GPS, just hoping we'll somehow reach our destination. Let me tell you something. When I first started, I did what everyone told me to do. I set this vague goal of becoming successful. Well, guess what happened? Absolutely nothing. I was working hard, sure, but I was going nowhere fast. It wasn't until I learned the framework I'm about to share with you that things started to click. Now, before we dive in, please do something for me. Think about your biggest goal right now and write it down in the comments. Got it? Okay, keep that in mind because by the end of this video, you'll have some tools to turn that goal into reality. First things first, let's talk about what makes a good goal. There's this framework called SMART goals. And no, it's not just another boring business acronym. This is the real deal. And it's going to change how you think about goal setting forever. Let's break it down, but we're going to do it with a real-world example. Let's say you're a startup founder, and your goal is to grow your business. Sounds good, right? Wrong. This is exactly the kind of goal that leads to the 92% failure rate we talked about just right now. So break down that acronym. S stands for specific. Instead of grow your business, you need something like increase monthly recurring revenue to $100,000. See the difference? It's crystal clear what you're aiming for. M is for measurable. With our $100,000 monthly recurring revenue goal, you can track your progress every single day if you want to. You can see exactly how far you've come and how far you have to go. A is for achievable. This is where a lot of people mess up. If your current monthly revenue is $1,000, aiming for $100,000 next month isn't achievable. It's delusional. But $5,000? That might be challenging but doable. Remember, we want to stretch ourselves, not break ourselves. R stands for relevant. This is about making sure your goal aligns with your bigger picture. If your ultimate vision is to build a sustainable, profitable business that you can run from anywhere in the world, then focusing on revenue growth makes sense. But if your real dream is to create a positive impact in your community, maybe your goal should be about the number of people you help instead. Finally, T is for time-bound. This is the secret that turns wishes into goals. I want to reach $5,000 in monthly recurring revenue by December 31st. Boom. Now we're talking. But here's where most goal-setting advice stops, and that's a huge problem. Because setting SMART goals is just the beginning. It's like having that great GPS in our cars. Useful, but they won't get you to your destination on their own. So this is where the real work begins. You need 3 things: planning, motivation, and discipline. Let's break these down. Planning is like creating your own GPS route. And I know we're used to GPS systems solving every route for us, but that's not going to help you here. Here, you're the one in control. If you want to reach $5,000 in monthly recurring revenue by December 31st, you need to work backward. How many new customers do you need each month? How many sales calls does that mean per week? How many leads do you need to generate each day? Here's a pro tip I learned the hard way. Break your goal down into quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily targets. I call these your milestone markers. Just like a hiker uses trail markers to stay on course, these milestones keep you oriented toward your destination. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is something most people don't talk about. Your plan needs to be flexible. Why? Because life happens. Markets change. Opportunities arise. There's one thing you can't avoid. Problems will happen, but you should always be prepared for them. Your plan should be recalculated when you hit unexpected traffic. Now let's talk about motivation. Everyone loves motivation. It's like rocket fuel for your goals. When you're motivated, everything seems possible. But here's the brutal truth. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Just like everyone loves motivation, everyone loses it at some point. Period. I remember when I was building my first successful product. Some days, I felt like I could conquer the world. Other days, I could barely get out of bed. This is where the third element comes in: discipline. Discipline is what you fall back on when motivation takes a vacation. And trust me, motivation will take plenty of vacations. Discipline is showing up at your desk at 7 a.m. to work on your business plan, even though your bed is begging you to stay. It's saying no to that afternoon coffee chat when you know you need to finish your quarterly projections. It's looking at your daily targets and hitting them, even when Netflix is dropping an entire new season of your favorite show. It's doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. But here's the thing about discipline that most Instagram motivational quotes won't tell you. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never missing a day. It's about being consistent. It's about what you do most of the time. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think discipline means never messing up, never taking a break, never having a bad day. But that's not discipline. That's robotic perfection, and last time I checked, none of us are robots. Real discipline is about getting back on track when you inevitably slip up. It's about looking at that missed target and saying, okay, what's next? Instead of beating yourself up about missing your sales calls today, it's about planning how you'll make them tomorrow. This brings us to one of the most important concepts in goal achievement: resilience. And I'm going to tell you something that might sound discouraging at first, but stick with me. You're going to fail. Let me say that again. You're going to fail. You'll miss targets. You'll have days when everything goes wrong. You'll face setbacks that make you question everything. Your biggest client will leave right when you thought things were going great. Your perfect business plan will fall apart when the market suddenly shifts. Your carefully crafted strategy will run into unexpected obstacles. This is where most people give up. They hit their first major setback and think, see, I knew I couldn't do it. I knew this was too hard. I'm not cut out for this. But successful people, they have a completely different perspective. They understand that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. They see failure as feedback. When Elon Musk's first 3 SpaceX rockets exploded, he didn't give up and decided space was too hard. When Steve Jobs got kicked out of Apple, the company he founded, he didn't decide he was a failure and gave up on tech. These people understood something crucial. Every failure is a data point. Every setback is a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity to adjust your approach. Think of it like that GPS recalculating your route. When you take a wrong turn, it doesn't tell you to give up and go home. It simply says recalculating and finds you a new path to your destination. So this brings us to another crucial point: tracking and adjusting. You need to regularly review your progress. I recommend doing this weekly. Look at your numbers. Are you on track? If not, why? What's working? What isn't? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about making informed decisions. Here's a framework I use. Every Sunday evening, I spend 30 minutes reviewing my progress and planning the week ahead. I call it my recalculation session. I look at my numbers, adjust my plans if needed, and set my priorities for the week. Remember one thing very well. It's in the process that we truly become the best version of ourselves. It's in those adjustments, in that feedback, where we realize that we can do better, and that we will. This process is what will really matter in the long haul. So right now, don't just focus on the big goal. Instead, make every step count. Thank you for watching.